Hi, Sage.
Hi, Dani.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome back, everyone,
Yeah.
to a new episode of Silence of the Hags. And who are we?
We're your hags.
We're your hags. Oh my god. How's everyone
We did that
doing?
in one try.
I say also, please appreciate that. It will never probably happen again.
Yes, hold for
No,
applause.
I feel like we have a once every season quota of actual. What?
Yes.
Are you snapping?
Sorry, now I'm cracking my knuckles.
Nice. Some
Snaps.
ASMR for you
Snaps
kids
for
at
the
home.
hags.
Snaps. Yeah. You know what? I don't think we've even said yet.
What?
Happy fucking New Year, everybody.
Oh, yeah, shit. Happy 2021.
Happy 2021.
It's not going great,
But
but it's not going on fire like last year.
I think it's going better than last year. I mean, we have Biden and Miss Harris in office.
Mm-hmm.
GameStop stock
And
is
Blockbuster.
through the roof. Blockbuster?
They also were buying Blockbuster stocks.
That's fucking funny.
Yep.
I didn't even know Blockbuster still existed.
Neither did I.
Killing it.
Their stocks exist.
You know what? Maybe this will bring back Blockbuster.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
I wouldn't either.
I love movie stores.
I miss going and just like you browse through the movie. It's like Netflix, but not kind of lame and like covered in
and so many more
Cheeto
options
dust
than
and
Netflix.
depression outfits.
And it smells in there, like just kind of like smells like
movies.
plastic.
Yeah, and there's always that like kind of creepy, like ambiguously aged
Yes.
guy with like a beard and like really long hair who kind of hits on you.
Yes.
I don't really miss that, but my nostalgia misses that.
And their popcorn and their cotton candy, their snacks.
Oh, I forgot that they did that.
I
oh
know.
my god. There was a movie store in Chilliwack that had like Slurpees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think you were telling me
Mm-hmm.
that this is a long
It's a big boy. It might
So-
not be that long. My font just might be like oversized.
Oh, yeah, Dani was like, so I didn't even know how many pages of research this was. Do you want to know how many pages? And I was like, yeah, sure. Thinking, I was like, my last one was like 10, and that was a lot of pages. So I was like, there's no way it's more than like 12 because that would be insane. No, this bitch has 26 pages. Okay. 26. Is she using a size 20 font? Yeah. But that's still a lot of goddamn pages.
But it's like 20, but not that big.
Yeah, it's like only 8 points bigger than...
Here, we'll do this. There are 8,961 words.
Okay. Yeah, that's almost like a solid...
Like a college essay?
Yeah, like a university paper.
I've never had to write one, but...
Me neither.
Okay, so forewarning.
I love those.
This is French. And not French like normal people French.
Oh my god, no.
It's French Canadian.
It's Quebec French.
So I don't know I know a few people who speak French. I'm going to absolutely butcher all these names, all these cities. Honestly, Quebec,
We'll support you through it.
they don't want to be a part of Canada, so I'm not going to try to learn how to say their cities anyway. They said, we want to be our own country.
Yeah,
Sure.
in the landlocked in the center of Canada.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, sure. Tell me about this.
Yes.
Tell me about this shit.
So today we are going to be talking about the Anthill Kids.
The Anthill Kids.
The Anthill Kids, which if you didn't get from everything that we just talked about, it's a Canadian cult.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite article that I was reading said, yes, Canada has cults too. It's like, what is the fuck? I was like, what does that even
did you post that on
mean?
the story?
I did.
And you're like, yep.
Yeah, we sure do.
do.
Why are you guys acting like we're like fucking Oz? Like,
Yeah, I gotta tell you something.
Oh my god, we're pretty rotten
Canada
over
is
here.
a real place. We physically
It's a real
exist.
place. Yeah,
Yeah.
things are made here.
Yes, they are.
They are. I can't name any of them, but they're made here.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Skin
And-
creams.
Beavers.
Sometimes.
That's all I got. And moose. Moose.
Meese. I think I prefer meese, but I think moose is correct.
So my first speed bump that I had was the man's name. So I haven't gotten past this speed bump. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Oh,
so,
I know. Tell me.
I don't. So I'm not going to say his first name. I know how to say his last name. So
You
his
don't
name
know how to
is.
say his first name?
Okay, I don't know if it's because some articles are saying it's Rock.
Mm-hmm.
It's ROCH. Some
Yeah.
articles are saying it's Rush.
It's Rock.
It's Rock.
I think white people. I think
White
I
Canadian?
guess French people are white. Yeah.
Fren-
English speaking only Canadian, I think, is Rock.
Yes. French Canadian is Rock. Okay, well, I'm just going to call him by his last name, which is Theriot.
Yay, you did it!
Theriot.
Yeah, that was right. It's
Theriot.
Rock Theriot. It's not Theriot. Nope, it's not
So,
that.
Rock Theriot was the leader of the Anthill Kids, which is a small group that initially appeared to be an innocent community of free-thinking folks who supported themselves through self-sufficiency in their commune. And they lived out in the wilderness.
This
Wow.
sounds incredibly familiar.
Yes. Don't you worry. There is mention of Jonestown in this.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I love it.
It all
Oh,
ties
yeah.
together. That's why I did this one next.
Yeah, perfect. I'm excited.
Yes. So this was a pretty. I'm gonna forewarn you. This might be okay. I'm gonna put this in now. This might be a multi-part story. I might have to do this in 2 parts, but we'll see where we're at. I just don't want it to be too long. But just forewarning you, there's a lot of abuse physically and a lot of child abuse.
Well, if there's no child abuse, it's not fun.
There's no child abuse. It's not a cult. And
That's a better statement.
and there's some mutilation. So just warning you. So let's start off with our boy Rock. Rock. Not to be confused with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Lovely man, not a cult leader.
Beautiful. He's got a great book at my
Yes.
work. It's like $50.
Oh my God.
It's
Man's
supposed
gotta
to
make
be like
living,
a
I
table
guess.
book. Yeah.
So he was born on May 16th of 1947. He is a Taurus sun and an Aries moon.
Oh,
So-
we got our sun and our moon in here.
I tried to look up his
evolving.
rising, but I didn't know what time he was born. So
Yeah, no one needs
Damn
to know
it.
that much about him.
So, I've already look a sentence in. He was born in Saguenay, Quebec. Saguenay.
How do you spell it?
Saguenay. Saguenay?
Okay.
I'm from here.
Saguenay.
Enay. Saguenay. Saguenay.
Pronunciate. Okay, let's
He was
see what
born in
Google-
Quebec into a French Canadian family, and he was raised in the Thetford mines. So as a child, he was considered very intelligent, but dropped out of school in the 7th grade and began to teach himself the Old Testament of the Bible, as children do.
That is like the number one. How do you tell if your kid is smart? Did they drop out in 6th grade? Not smart.
Yeah.
Like, end of story.
Yeah.
Not smart.
So like many cult leaders, he did believe that the end of the world was near, and it would be brought on by the war between good and evil. So he converted to Catholicism and to the Seventh-day
Catholicism?
Catholicism.
Catholicism? Didn't you go to Catholic school?
There's a lot of that I've blocked out just from
Okay, well, it's
sheer
not
trauma.
Catholicism.
Catholicism.
Yes.
So he converted to Catholicism, to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and began practicing. Now I can't even look at this word. I need to scroll past it because it's just making me laugh. And he began practicing regular holistic beliefs, which encouraged a healthy lifestyle free of unhealthy food and tobacco.
But I love unhealthy food and
No,
tobacco.
Not in the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Well, no
So
wonder I'm not
in
part.
1967, on November 11th, he married Francine Grenier, a girl from the next town over. They moved to Montreal, and over the next 3 years, she gave him 2 sons, Rock Jr. and Francois.
The most. I've named this one after myself.
Yes.
And
Francois.
Francois. It's French.
It's very French of them.
I wish I could fake French accent.
Yeah,
it
I
up,
can't
but
at all.
Let me try. I will name him Francois.
That was awful. That was horrendous.
Okay, well.
That's
so.
No, I'm not saying it. Keep going.
So Terrio developed some severe ulcers, and he had to have them removed surgically, and he later developed complications from the surgery. So with persistent discomfort of his digestive system, he became obsessed with medicine. Medicine. What the hell? So because of all of his discomfort, he became obsessed with medicine. Fuck. He became obsessed.
Some Sharpay
I know.
exercises.
He became obsessed with medicine and taught himself a great deal about anatomy. He also moved back to the Thetford mines and began developing his skills with woodworking. He became involved with municipal policies and joined Le Club des Aramis, which is the French analog to the Shriners, which he suborned for the use of his personal platform for a parody of Catholicism. Despite the Catholic roots of all of their members, he also acquired a new interest in sex and sexuality, one which was not entirely appreciated by his in-laws.
So you can't have potato chips, but you can talk about your wet dreams. That's what I'm getting from this.
Well, they didn't like that he talked about his wet dreams.
Well, that's good.
So he also started drinking very heavily. Very heavily. So, as we said, he was doing some woodworking, and he was an amateur wood sculptor. And he would use his quote-unquote sales as an excuse to go out to the mines in Quebec City on the weekends. So he would say he was going out there to sell some of his wood. And he would go there and meet various women. Keep in mind, he's married with 2 kids.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
cheater, pumpkin eater.
So while he was there, he met Giselle, and Francine washed her hands of him. Said, "Fuck you, you drinking piece of shit.
Good for you, Francine.
Get out."
Yes.
So
This
he
is
then
the
took up with
strong female
Giselle.
Energy.
Yeah, Francine, honestly, best decision you've ever made in your life.
Honestly, though.
The best decision you've ever made. You dodged a
Like,
fucking
trust,
bullet.
listen to this podcast, and then you'll
Yes.
understand.
So it was around this time that he discovered the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The Adventist was ministered by Pierre Zita. I don't know why I said that like Spanish. This is French.
Pierre Zita.
Pierre Zita. Although I think he was from, where did it say? I think he was, it wasn't Colombian. He was something else, but like, I can't remember what it was. But I couldn't put it in there because I couldn't say it. So the Adventists were ministered by Pierre Zita, and they would meet in a local hotel room every Saturday to practice Adventist stuff. I'm not
Things
a
that Adventists do.
Yes, I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist. I don't know what they do.
Same.
So Terrio was their most devoted follower. He was hardcore.
That's never a good sign.
No, they didn't like it.
Oh, good.
they
Good call,
they were
guys.
turned off by it. So he would follow their nutritional strictures. He quit drinking, and his enthusiasm for God's work would actually unsettle the other Adventists.
Oh.
And his boastfulness irritated those who knew he had a limited education on
You gotta
the
be
religion.
really into God to weird out Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like,
to weird out,
really
like-
into God.
Yeah, they're like, you're too much. Like,
Yeah.
and that's coming from people who are too much.
Yeah, literally. Like that's.
I'm sorry if you're a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah, that's okay if you are. I totally support you. But would you not agree?
Would you not agree that like
That for
what
someone
would it
to weird-
take for somebody to be so into your religion that it would weird you
Weird
out?
you out.
Like
Yeah.
you're so into your religion.
Yeah.
So
which
if
is
somebody being so into your religion weirds you out,
like that's like a lot.
red flag.
That's a huge
Yes.
red flag.
So he became fascinated with the Old Testament and with its strict codes of masculine authority. He was also fascinated with the apocalypse and with its message of violent retribution for sin in the end of times and the division of the human race into the yeah.
Same though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is this man? I'm so uncomfortable.
I know. He's gross looking also.
Yeah, no, he's not cute.
No, don't follow anybody who's gross looking. If
Yeah.
you're in, and not like follow like on Instagram. Like I mean like in life. Like if they're gross looking and they're like really like authoritative.
If he's not at least an 8 out of 10, don't join the cult. 8 out of 10 or higher, though.
Yeah.
The cult's for you.
Yep. Stop letting creepy white men run your life, please.
Also that.
God, come
Please,
on.
God. Oh, God.
So to make money, he would sell Adventist literature door to door. When he proved himself quite capable of this enterprise, the pastor, Mr. Zita, began giving him workshops on quitting smoking for him to run. So he would run
Nice.
these workshops. This is a traditional gateway for Adventist
Yeah.
evangelicalism.
Evangelical. Because it's evangelist. Evangelical.
Evangelicalism.
Wait, what? Evangelicism? Is that?
Adventist evangelic. I can't fucking say this. You know, it's like evangelical.
Yeah,
Even
evangelicalism.
right? That
The thing.
that thing. You know, like evangelical
Oh my God.
Christians. What?
Sorry, I answered her and said thank you. And she said, the sound is awesome in it. I can hear everyone clearly and say
Yay.
a good follow.
You're gonna eat your words when you listen to the Which is Which.
Yes, true. I'm saying I was just typing to ask if it was better.
Oh yay.
Ha ha ha. Red.
So, by 1977, he had amassed himself a number of followers, including Solange Bolliard, Chantal
Ooh,
Labrie-
Solange.
Solange, not Knowles.
No.
Bolliard.
Yeah, not the good Solange.
Yes, no. Francine Laflamme, Nicole Rule, a woman known as Marcy, I want to say Jose, but it's French. So, Josie, maybe? Josie?
Jose.
Jose. Josie?
I don't think it's Josie.
Jose?
Maybe it is. Jose? Jose?
Jose Pelletier?
Pelletier?
Jacques
Yeah.
Fistet?
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you. That's the only name I can say French.
was
Claude.
pretty good.
Oh, Claude.
Claude.
Claude. Oulette.
Oulette.
And Jacques Gregory.
It's Jacques?
Gregory. Fuck, I told you I'm bad. I can't do French. I didn't take French in school. I took Spanish.
You're
so.
doing really good, Dani.
And his wife,
Okay.
right. Eat
You're
your
almost
words.
there.
Marcy. Marcy.
Is it M-E-R-C-I?
Maryse. Maryse? Mercy? Mercy?
It's
Mercy? I don't know. And his wife, Mercy. I'm going to
Sure.
call her Miss
yeah,
Grenier.
I don't have a clue.
And their 6-month-old baby girl. So all of these people, plus Rock, began hanging around at Giselle's apartment. Though most of the girls were still living with their parents because I should mention, all these people were under the age of 24. They were between the ages of 18 and 24.
Cute.
They were children. So they would hang out at Giselle's apartment, and most of the girls were still living with their parents, and the whole group would often spend the weekend crashing at Giselle's on the couch, on the floor, literally wherever there was space. Anywhere there was space to lay down, they were sleeping there. So Terrio encouraged them all to drop out of college. After all, Christ is coming. There wasn't much point in learning anything.
If anyone is convincing you to drop out of college,
For Jesus Christ, don't do it.
leave. This is not going in a good direction, okay?
Mm-mm.
Your student loans and your parents will not be happy with you.
Literally.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is on his way, there wasn't any point in learning anything in a world that was already destined to ignite.
I don't
So-
think that's how it works, but I guess he's entitled to his opinion.
I've never met Jesus Christ, so I wouldn't know.
But I don't think he'd say...
But I think the whole thing with religion is like you have the freedom of choice. It's just whether you make the right one or the wrong one.
I have even less religious experience than you.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been
So
one with God, so.
I think the whole thing about religion at its core, and correct me, our religious followers and friends if I'm incorrect, but I think the whole thing is just living a virtuous life. So I don't think it is about free will, but I think it's about just constantly making the right decision because it's the right decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not because it gains you this or that. But I gotta say, I don't think dropping out of college for no reason is the right or the virtuous decision.
No. So, of course, Giselle being his girlfriend, she would get really jealous of all these girls just lavished with rock. Because fucking why wouldn't she? He's got like 10 girls crashing at her house.
Yeah,
every weekend.
Say, I'd probably take a pass on
Yeah,
that
I'd
one.
be like, firstly, this is my house. Secondly, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So he had also expressed interest in becoming a priest, and he was actually committed to total sobriety, so he wasn't drinking anymore. This is when his Adventist minister began to fear that the group was disaffected. They were disaffecting the youth, and they were attracted. Yes, so they were more attracted to Rock's personality than they were to the actual religion.
I see.
Yeah.
He was a bad influence.
Yes, they didn't think that they were all hanging out as Seventh-day Adventists. They thought that they were all hanging out as
pals,
obsessed with Rock.
Which I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't. He's
not
that
really
cool.
not. So due to attempting to gain leadership, he was removed from the church. Yeah. He
tried to stage a coup.
He did.
Did not go well.
Mr. Zeta said, "Not today,
no.
motherfucker." So he had convinced himself that he was the people's savior. He strongly believed that he was put on earth by God to save the world from evil and the upcoming apocalypse. He now had a new goal: create a free-thinking commune where his where his followers could listen to his teaching and live as equals. Sounds nice, right?
That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
Yeah. So, let's dive into the cult.
All right, let's dive.
So, with his little entourage of 8 people and a growing reputation as a quote-unquote healer and a sympathetic connection with Seventh-day Adventist health and food mission and literature suppliers, Theriot decided it was time that he move his little crew from the Thetford mines to Ste. Marie, which is about 65 kilometers south of Quebec City. That means nothing to me.
Me neither. Absolutely nothing. But
I guess the city's big, and this is kind of far out of the city.
Okay.
Relevant.
Oh, Quebec? Oh, well, yeah. Quebec City's big. I've never been there, but
neither have I.
I have heard good things.
So he was out of the city. So they opened a Healthy Living Clinic. That's literally what it was called. It was called Healthy Living Clinic.
Really original.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he named his first child Rock and his second child Francois, so
literally.
What more can we expect?
So this was an alternative medicine venue where you could get organic food, holistic literature, and help cure any alignment. Of course, cash only up front for everything you required. And Theriot insisted that all of the people working there wear a uniform that was ankle length and a pullover tunic. Green for the women, beige for the men, and our boy Rock wore a dark brown.
I feel like
Do you see where this is going?
I was gonna say, we're living out Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, who else wore the dark brown?
Oh, shit. Oh, tea. Okay. I was originally going to say sounds like the Sephora tunics, but...
No, they were ankle length. Come on, Sephora.
A little longer. Sephora says, show me them knees, girls.
Put the knees away, Sephora. Come on.
Yeah. Bring back ankle length tunics.
Yes. Could you imagine? Those would be horrendous.
Oh my god.
With the big red slit up the back. Ew.
Just like a big black pylon.
Oh my god. Ew.
Oh my god. I've always wanted to look like a traffic cone.
Yes.
An aesthetic traffic cone.
So not only was he making money through his enterprise, he was also attracting more followers through this business. So several of the clinic's patrons volunteered their time or financial donations. They were just giving him fucking money and time for absolutely no reason.
Why?
Not absolutely no reason. They believed in him. They liked his holistic views. They thought he was doing
I like holistic views too, but like
At this point, he's
I
not a
have
cult leader yet.
boundaries.
The cult is not. These are also
Exist.
strangers.
yeah.
These aren't his followers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So except for our girl, Miss Greenier, Marcy, whatever her name is.
I would say Marcy. Let's just say
Marcy?
Marcy.
Marcy. Okay, we're gonna call her Marcy. She hated being with the commune, and she hated
Good for you, Marcy.
competing for all of his attention. She was not a fan.
That's
So
fair.
eventually, Giselle became very concerned that she might lose Rock to one of the other girls, and she took initiative to propose to him. And a week later, he said yes.
A week later,
Yep.
he's having these meetings
Yep.
at her house. Bitches are crashing at her house all the time. She, instead of deciding to leave him, is like, you know what? I'm just gonna ask him to, and it takes him a week.
Mm-hmm.
The disrespect.
Yeah, literally.
God
I
damn
know.
it.
Disgusting.
Truly.
Ladies, listen up. Men ain't shit. Don't
You
let them
deserve
treat you like this.
better.
Come on.
Oh my god.
So on January 8th of 1978, they were married in a Montreal Adventist church.
cute.
Yes. So Pierre Zita, our priest from before, who booted him from the church, he actually tried approaching parents of many of the girls and tried to convince Giselle to leave Rock.
Good for you, Zita.
Yeah, he was not a fan of what he was doing. He
A
didn't
true
think he was
ally.
doing it for religious purposes. He saw through his shit and thought it was all selfish.
Yeah, spoiler
Um,
alert.
But unfortunately, Rock's place in their heart
Was already.
was too deep for family or friends to displace.
Damn it.
Yep.
What a
Disgusting. So at one point, the police actually came on behalf of the family to speak to some of the girls because the families were worried. They were worried about their daughters. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
totally.
And they wouldn't talk. They wouldn't say it.
They would. Sorry, they wouldn't what?
They wouldn't talk to the police. They refused.
Oh,
The girls.
the girls.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So Terrio was their elected face to the outside world. So even when local businessmen became became, why am I saying that? Began.
Began.
Began?
Began.
Began? Pecan?
Pecan.
Um,
God damn it. Oh my
why
God,
am I
we
dumb?
are
How do you
bad.
say that? Began?
Yeah, began.
Okay. Sorry.
I think you're just.
Just
I
a
don't. You're just
stroke.
overthinking it.
I
think.
really am.
Yeah.
So even when local businessmen began filing in to the police station to complain about Rock's inability to pay outstanding bills, the police's hands were tied. There wasn't really much they could do.
Love that.
Yeah. So in March of 1978, Geraldine Auclair was
Sure.
admitted to the Healthy Living Clinic. She had been undergoing treatment for leukemia in Quebec City, and the things seemed to be going well, but Auclair's husband had fell in with Terrio, and Terrio convinced him being Mr. Auclair, to let him visit Geraldine in the hospital.
No.
Yep. He got into a really loud argument with the doctors over the matter of Geraldine's treatment, particularly the amount of drugs and medicine they were giving her.
Like they're giving her too much.
For her cancer treatment. Yeah, you get a lot of drugs when you have cancer. Like,
Nope. Too many.
too many.
Sir, what's your medical background?
None.
I once had a botched surgery.
Chamomile tea.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Get out.
So he convinced Mr. Auclair to check her in to the Healthy Living Clinic.
If someone is trying to tell you to remove your cancerous partner to go to a holistic healing center, don't do it.
I know that the light might not be, like, you might not see it at the end of the tunnel, but fucking chamomile tea and peppermint oil isn't the answer. I really hate to say it.
Yeah, like you
It's
could
not.
literally buy those things at Shoppers Drug Mart. Do you think that if peppermint oil and chamomile tea could cure cancer, anyone would have cancer? Most
Yeah.
people have both of those things in their cupboard. I have both of those things in my cupboard right now.
I have both of those things in front of me right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Ain't gonna do shit.
No.
Chamomile tea makes you kind of sleepy.
Yeah.
That's it. Peppermint oil, spiders hate it. Great.
And good for headaches, at least for
Also
me.
true.
The pain of the peppermint like burning my eyes really distracts me from my headache.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works. I'm
It's
not
like-
focused on my headache anymore because my eyes fucking hurt. And they're watering and I can't see.
It's like if someone is like, "Oh, does your finger hurt?" And then you say, "Yeah," and then they punch you in the arm and they say, "What about now?" Same thing. That's
Thank
what
you.
peppermint oil is.
So when Geraldine was in the Healthy Living Clinic, her father was not permitted to visit her, only Mr. Eau Claire. Yep. So his treatment for her leukemia was grape juice and organic food.
He's a goddamn genius.
Yes.
Why didn't anyone else think of grape
Yes.
juice and organic food?
Needless to say, she did pass away.
Ugh.
Yes.
Sorry, we're joking about it, but like,
Awful.
That sucks.
I mean, I know that like
and it's
especially
not, you know, it's
leukemia,
not the
that's-
husband's fault.
no, not at all. It was honestly preying on the weak. That's what
Yeah.
this is.
Like he was just probably what was happening was whatever was happening at the hospital wasn't helping, and so he's just desperate for someone to save his wife.
Yeah.
Here comes this guy who has a reputation already as being a healer for whatever reason, and he's like, "No, I can cure your wife. Like I can do it." You know, at some point you're going to be desperate, and that just fucking sucks. So lame.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But of course, this man being the reincarnation of Jesus Christ himself,
Oh, yes,
told
I
his
forgot about
followers
that.
he had gone into her room, kissed her, she had awakened from death,
No.
but he said that in the end, you know, when God wants people, he takes them, and it was Geraldine's time.
I gotta tell you,
Fuck you, man.
probably shouldn't be kissing dead bodies. That's a little bit weird. It's a little weird. I don't think the husband was into it. Don't do that.
No. So in June of 1978, despite the success of the Healthy Living Clinic, it did face some pretty big problems, that being outstanding debt, crippling debt, and
Classic.
second was constant police surveillance, which they had been subjected to with Miss Eau Claire's death.
So she died, and they were like, well,
Sus.
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Um,
That's good.
And then also, we talked a little bit before about how Terrio was still friends with some of the health food and
Yeah.
missionary literature supply people from his former Seventh-day Adventist church. They cut him off. They were like, no more. We're not giving you handouts. We're not helping you out anymore.
Good.
So what is the best thing to do when you are faced with problems? Leave. So he moved. They all got up.
Run away from your problems.
They literally packed into a vehicle and set out. They wandered from town to town, down the Fleuve Saint Laurent
Nice.
for a month.
Okay.
The Fleuve, the River Saint Laurent. So
Saint
in
Laurent?
July, they found themselves in the wilderness.
Living the nomadic lifestyle, I think
Yeah.
is what they call that.
Yep. So it was here where Terrio disclosed to his band of people his vision for the future. He told them the world is going to end on February 17th of 1979 amid a storm of boulder-sized hail, earthquakes, and lightning.
I don't think boulder-sized hail is going to happen.
So
Maybe one day the world will end, but I don't think
I don't think it's
that
gonna
is
be with
gonna
hail.
happen.
global warming.
I was gonna
Maybe
say
if you said
global warming
meteors,
is seen into
I'd
that.
believe you, but boulder-sized
Maybe.
hail? I don't know.
I'd love to see it,
Yeah.
but I don't think so.
No. So they were told that they, the commune, would be God's chosen one. Chosen
God's chosen one.
God's chodes.
God's chodes. That's what you guys are.
You guys are God's chodes.
You're
okay.
our God's chodes.
So yeah, they would be God's chosen ones, and Terrio would be their guide.
Okay.
Yep. So the group set out on foot to the hills of the village of, okay, This was another one I was having troubles with. The Spanish in me wants to say hogus. I'm not Spanish. I shouldn't say the Spanish in me.
The Spanish in you through Nico.
In my brain, through grade 12 and a little bit of Nico and his family,
Yes.
wants to say hogus, but I don't think that's what it is.
How do you spell
Saint Jogues. Jogs? Saint Jogues?
it? Yogs?
Yogues?
Maybe.
Saint
I don't know. How do
Yogues?
French people pronounce J's?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I know in Spanish it's H.
Yeah.
So we'll say Saint Yogues. That sounds...
Saint Yogs.
Saint Yogurt.
It's kind of cute, kind of fun.
Yeah. Yogi Bear.
Brings in a little bit of a lightness
Exactly.
to this horrible story.
Yes.
I'm down for Saint Yogs.
So on July 9th of 1978, they hiked for 2 days until they found an isolated hill beside a small body of water.
2 days.
Yep. Called Le Sac, which means dry lake.
Le Sac.
I think it's Le Sac. I don't know.
Oh,
I said Le Sac in my head, like when I was reading it before, and I was like, "Don't say Le Sac. It's not Le Sac.
It's too late.
Le Sac.
It's already been
Lac
done.
Sec. Lac Sec. Sorry, there's a C there. I'm missing
Sac.
the C. Lac Sec.
Lac Sec.
Dry lake.
Okay.
Dry
I'll
lake.
take it. Yeah.
So Terrio named the mound the Eternal Mountain because it wasn't a real mountain. It was just a little hill on a mountain.
Okay.
That's
well.
really all it was.
And this is the Eternal Mountain.
Yes.
Everyone behind him is like,
sir, that's a
oh,
hill.
okay. Yeah, that's great.
So this is where
Goes
they
on.
set up base. They made a tent town. They would get tools from their cars and trek back up because this shit was far into the woods.
So did they 2-day trek up,
On
then
foot?
2-day trek back to the cars, and then 2-day trek back, or were they just like fucking around?
They were
looking
trekking
for 2
around
days?
looking for a place.
Okay. I see.
Looking for the best place, and then they found this, but then they would trek back and forth to the cars, obviously to get
Nice.
supplies and stuff, and they would occasionally go into the village to, of course, get supplies.
Okay, I
they worked
see.
for at least 17 hours a day to clear the land. So if you remember a while ago, we named some of our followers. Jacques Fissette and Claude hacked the ground with a shovel and a pickaxe where the center of the cabin would be. They worked all summer to dig a well. All summer for a well. And when they finally reached water, Rock declared it a miracle, even though they were digging all summer. What
Yeah,
a miracle.
is it a
We found it.
miracle?
That was the plan the whole fucking time. It's not a miracle.
If you're
You
digging
did that
a well
all summer. What do
by
you
Where
mean?
there was a lake. You're probably gonna
Literally.
find
Yeah, you're probably going to find
somewhere.
water eventually.
Like, not to like rain on your parade, homie, but
Yeah.
I think that was just hard work,
Yeah.
to be honest.
So you remember those tunics?
Yes.
Yeah, that was still their uniform. So they would work in those. But of course, obviously, floor length tunics, not the most ideal for like building
Yeah, not very breathable.
a city.
But they smelled rank.
Smelled, and also they're long. You're going to trip over it. You're out in the
Yeah.
wilderness. So Rock commissioned new uniforms, which was a dark blue wrap around short.
Like a
wrap
skirt,
around. Wrap around. Wrap it around.
but with shorts.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of kind of like Buddhist vibes, like monks.
Okay.
Kind of give me
Probably
that vibe,
a little bit
but like shorter.
free moving.
Yeah. And he would ration out the food, and if anybody complained about anything, like, "Hey, I'm hungry," you'd be punished by restricting your rations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because
That
they're
seems
poor.
like-
They don't have jobs anymore. The clinic's closed.
Yeah.
They literally have no money. And of course, his pain in his tummy and his quote-unquote cancer prevented
His
him from
tum-tum.
participating in any of the labor.
Oh, he has cancer now?
Quote-unquote cancer. He said he had cancer, which is why he couldn't help them build anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
I have cancer. I mean, I guess that
Yeah,
is a valid excuse.
Sorry,
if you
they
actually have
can't. Yeah, if you actually have cancer, fair. But if you're just saying, yeah, sorry, my cancer's acting up
Yeah.
because you don't want to help dig a well,
Yeah, it's not fucking gout, okay?
yeah, that's problematic.
Yeah. So his role was much more important for their spiritual salvation. That was his role. He wasn't a laborer. He was a spiritual salvationer.
Salvationer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, sure.
Yeah. So he would tell
Okay.
his followers that everybody in the outside world, most especially their families, their followers' families, were active oppressors of the righteous, and they were doomed to die for all
Wow.
eternity. And they would be given unforgivable harm. Yeah.
And also, like, just saying, these people are like, hey, sweetie, so I heard that you have eaten, like a piece of toast and 3 green beans in the last 3 days. Maybe you should not be somewhere that starves you to death.
Yeah, literally.
You oppressor of religion.
Yeah, how fucking dare you? You're gonna die and burn for all eternity.
Yeah, like, I just want to make sure my kid doesn't starve to death.
I just was offering you a honey bun. What do you mean?
I just wanted to give you a honey bun.
So Yolanda Gwynbert, she had joined with a group. She had joined the group with her friend Gabrielle Laval. Yeah.
Okay.
And they said that they had to head back to France because their passport works. They said they had to head back to France because their passports were expiring. They were lying.
Darn.
They were just really scared and they wanted to get out.
Good call,
Yes.
ladies.
Yes.
Good call.
So Leo Mark Foucher, he had joined the community back when they had the Healthy Living Clinic. He and his wife and child had given Terrio all of their money. All of it. Yep. And
don't do that.
loaded his possessions. He loaded all of his possessions into a wagon and pieced it back to town. He said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Shit's getting weird. I don't like this. He left.
Another good decision.
So this time when the people were leaving, Brock did nothing to stop them. Just kind of made it clear that they were evil in the eyes of God to everybody who was still there.
Yeah, so we're just going to let them go, but just so you know,
just
God
so you know.
hates them.
Yeah. Satan. Absolute fucking spawns of Satan.
Okay.
Yeah. So by September, everything was done. The cabin was built, and it consisted of a single open room with a floor made of pounded wood rounds, and the well was in the center of the cabin. The ceiling was made of like moss and bark-covered logs, and rooms consisting only of meter-high partitions and bed sheets that were hung like curtains. So this was going to be their home.
What an odd place to put a well.
Yeah, just
inside
in the middle
of
of
a
the
house?
Yeah.
I feel like, wouldn't everything be damp?
Yeah. I mean, they're living in the woods.
That's also true.
I don't think any of them are carpenters.
They
were all children.
Roof is
Moss.
fucking moss. Sorry,
Um,
how old were they?
Well, they were between the ages of so the original people were between the ages of 24 and 18, but they did gain a following from the Healthy Living Clinic.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always was I was just picturing these people as like 26, 27.
No, they were young.
Jesus, that is young.
Yeah.
Oh man, that makes it even sadder.
So this dinky little cabin was going to be their home until God began his 1,000-year reign on earth.
Began.
You know what? Milk.
You're doing
Let
pretty
me
good.
live.
Also, so is he telling them that God's gonna be like, okay, I'm coming on down. It's my time in the sun. Here's a mansion. Snap,
Pretty
finger
much,
snap,
it's basically
mansion.
going to be like, God's coming. Everybody else on the earth is going to get wiped out. Absolutely everybody, except us. So he'll reward us with like luxurious living.
Oh, so we can steal all these dead people's houses.
Yes. Exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Seems like bad juju, but whatever.
So to commemorate their new life, because they were out in the commune, they were new people, he gave all of them names from the Old Testament. And he himself became Moses. Mm-hmm. They also referred to
How
him.
do you say extreme narcissist?
Yeah, this one's worse. I can't take this one seriously, and both of these are used several times in the upcoming pages.
I'm ready.
So Rock and Giselle were now going to be Mammy and Papy.
Mammy and Papy.
Papy. Pappy. And
Oh my God.
Mammy. Mamy. Mammy.
Girls and maybe not straight guys, here's your new challenge. Next time, instead of calling your boyfriend daddy, call him Pappy.
Pappy. Not Poppy. Not Poppy.
No,
Not
Pappy.
Spanish.
Pappi. Pappy.
Papy.
Oh.
Even worse.
That's kind of like Papy.
Papy.
Call your boyfriend Papy.
Call your girlfriends Mamie. Come on.
Mamie.
Mamie.
Like-
Mamie and Papy.
Mamie.
And of course, they didn't have any money, so they were collecting welfare checks.
Ooh. Jonestown 2.0.
Yes, for everybody in the group, and they had a monthly budget of $1,400. Not a lot for that many fucking.
I was gonna say, how many people was that? Sorry?
At this time, there's about like 20 of them. That's not.
That's
I mean, I guess it was like the 80s, but still. And I guess they don't have rent to pay.
No, 1,400 divided by 20 people.
Yes.
That's $70 a month each.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you're right though. I guess they're not really going anywhere.
Yeah. So this whole time, Mommy was
Mamie.
pregnant.
Happy-
So in October of
happy
1978, she
pregnancy.
was 6 months pregnant. Yep.
Okay, not great.
And she went to our boy Moses and said the women who had not been married yet were lonely.
Oh, fuck you, Mammy.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
So
We're doing it.
Papy relayed.
Papy.
I'm calling him Papy from here on out. You guys
Yeah,
are
that's
just going to have
fair.
to take this seriously. So Papy relayed the insight to the other girls, giving them the impression that it was Mommy's idea, and she was the first one to think about it. A few nights later, Nicole Rule confided that she and Moses had had intercourse while everybody else was working.
You harlot.
This hurt Mommy a lot.
It's Mammy, isn't it? Or is it
Mammy?
Mummy?
Mammy. I don't know.
It's Mammy.
Mammy. So she fled from the cabin, but enraged Papy. Sorry, this is not very nice.
Yeah, I feel dirty.
I do. So Giselle fled from the cabin, and our boy Rock was fucking pissed, and he grabbed her by the throat
Okay.
until she was so scared that she agreed to return to the commune.
No. Don't.
Yes.
Don't return.
So from here on out, because all those single gals, they were lonely, he went ahead and declared all commune marriages other than the one between him and Mamie void. I declare bankruptcy. So he then began marrying the women himself. Yes. So these women that Mamie said were lonely, I think she was hoping that maybe we could get them some boyfriends. And he said, no, I'll do you one better.
I'll marry them.
I'll marry all of you.
All of them.
Yeah.
Giselle's like, fuck.
That's not what I meant.
God damn it.
So, but of course, she's scared of him.
Yeah,
You know?
so, yeah. Well, I mean, you're pregnant, and he chokes you
Yeah.
almost, like, to the point where you think you're going to die.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Mhm.
Actually, I want to keep you all to myself. No! You're not going to say that. Ugh.
So, when the Jonestown Massacre occurred on November 18th of 1978, Terrio followed the story with keen interest. He even claimed to have done a vision of that event a year before. Bullshit.
He'd done it. He
Yes.
had done a vision? Like, he'd had a vision?
Did I say done a vision?
You said
Oh,
he had
I meant
done
to say
a
had.
vision.
I don't know why I said
Oh,
done.
okay. I wasn't trying to be even
No.
annoying. I was just wondering if I was misunderstanding.
No.
Okay.
I just speak gibberish.
Also, just saying, it's really easy to just say, oh yeah, I had a vision about that a year ago.
Yeah.
Like what?
Piss off.
Okay.
So they had a very pressing problem in the late 70s and 80s. Doomsday cults were now a household concern along with serial killers.
Ooh,
Not a
suck
great
dick.
time
That's
in-
what happens.
Yeah. Not a great time. So the families of his followers attempted to disrupt the group again, and the police wanted to take him into custody, but lacked the evidence that he was a danger to himself or others. Nevertheless, he actually went willingly, and he underwent psychological evaluation. He claimed that he wasn't the quote-unquote leader of the group, that it was a commune and it was a democracy, and they lived in peace without any promiscuity. Bullshit, because he was fucking all those girls.
Yeah, I was gonna say
He deadass married 9
everyone.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No promiscuity. I just have a literal harem. Like,
Yeah.
but it's super chill, you know,
Yeah.
bro.
So the authorities did realize that he was fucking batshit crazy.
That's good.
But without any proof, they released him. Because you can't prove like that this guy's just fucking weird. Like you can't arrest somebody for that. There's really nothing you can do. Nobody's speaking out against this. Hello? I'm
From
having a
this.
bad day.
It's all the
Um,
French Canadian.
I know. The French is really throwing me off. There's a lot of
That's
T's
fair.
in French.
That they don't mean anything.
Yes. So at this point, he abandoned his Adventist diet and he began eating meat and junk food.
Oh, you
Yes.
pussy.
Yep. He prostituted Gabrielle to a local grocer so he could get some milk,
Ew.
meat, and cheese. He also
For
started.
himself, I bet, too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
He also started drinking again after being sober for quite some time.
Mm.
And he began to deliver
Began.
began. Why is that word? I feel
That
like I've been
was
saying
English.
began my whole life. Began?
Well, you've been wrong your whole life.
Oh my god. Began? He also began. That doesn't sound right to me.
Oh,
He also began to deliver he also started to deliver long, rambling, drunken sermons. And if anybody fell asleep, he would smack them over the head with a 4-inch thick club.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, don't fucking fall asleep.
He,
when
went all in on
Yeah.
it.
Well, and he's also fucking intoxicated, which really doesn't help.
No.
So Marcy, a while back, she became pregnant. I'm not going to get into the details of everybody's pregnancy. Long story short, he married 9 women and fathered 20 children between 9 women. Yeah. So one of the women, Marcy, was pregnant, and she ate 2 more pancakes than he allocated to her. And he punched her in the side and broke 2 of her ribs.
She's pregnant, Rock.
Yeah.
She's feeding another human being.
That's Moses to you?
Oh, yeah.
Pappy or Moses
Pappy.
only.
Yeah. Pappy, Moses, or bust.
So another one of his favorite punishments would be to force someone to strip naked and stand in the snow for a few hours. No one would fight back, of course, because if they did, it would be like raising a hand against God himself.
Yeah, if God was telling me to get naked and stand in the snow for hours, I would raise my hand.
Fuck you,
to
God.
him.
Yeah.
Is that blasphemous?
Mm-hmm.
I'm committing to it,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
So Jacques Fissette, we talked about him a while ago, he left.
Good for you, Jacques.
Our boy Papy just told the others he'd been taken by the devil.
All right.
Yep.
That's an easy
Yep.
scapegoat. Have some imagination at least.
Yep. So Marcy began to talk about leaving, and Papy instructed Jacques. Sorry, there's more than one Jacques, remember. That was Jacques Fissette.
Okay.
The Jacques that is still here is Jacques Giguère. Giguère? Giguère.
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 That was good.
Thank you. So we're just going to call him Jacques now. So Marcy began to talk about leaving, and Papy instructed Jacques, Marcy's husband, in the eyes of the law, but not in the eyes of Papy, to cut off one of her toes with an axe as punishment
Oh, yeah.
for thinking about leaving. When he said no, because what the fuck, that's his wife,
Yeah.
he taunted him. I'm not going to say this because it's a slur and it's not a nice slur. I'm not going to tell you what the slur is. It's a slur towards the LGBTQ community.
Okay, tell me the slur.
You don't.
Oh,
it's a
the
slur
F word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change it. Okay, this is what he said. What are you,
Mother flibber?
a frog? Do you not have any balls? If you want to be a man, you have to learn how to teach your woman a lesson. And of course, Jacques started crying because, okay, so if anybody said that to me, I would not be like, man, I'm a woman. Don't say I'm a frog. Man,
Yeah.
nothing. Sorry, we're not going to make frogs a slur word. It's just the closest thing I can think of right now. But this was the 70s. So for those of you who are thinking, like, it's not that big of a deal that he's saying that and he's questioning his manhood. Yeah, it kind of wasn't that open-minded back then. So he started
Also,
crying.
I would say that word was even more. It was like more of an NBD back then than it is now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
it was an NBD for people like, not that it wasn't a big deal, but like it was. I feel like it wasn't a big deal for people to say.
Oh, but like,
if somebody said it to you, it was like,
like you should control your woman type
Yeah.
thing. It's like, what do you? I'm a man.
yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
So he wouldn't do it, and he was crying. So Papy threatened to cut off all of her toes himself. Yeah.
Pappy, you're a little baby back bitch.
So, of course, he didn't want his wife to lose all of her toes, so he did cut off one of her baby toes. There is a lot of conflicting information. Some information says that Jacques cut off his wife's toe.
His wife's toe.
But other information says that Solange did it. There's a lot of conflicting information in terms of like police reports and their claims. So
yeah, I think it's hard to sort through it
Yeah.
too and find the real story because it's always like somewhere in between, right?
Yeah. I have there's a part literally coming up in like 2 seconds here no, it's not. Sorry. It's coming up in a couple minutes. Where it's Pappy's side of the story and Mammy's side of the story.
No one gives a fuck about Pappy's side of the
No.
story.
No.
Let's be real.
But you'll see how fucking twisted the story gets. It's crazy. So, as we said before, they changed the doom day to February 17th.
Okay.
And, of course, nothing
That's
happened.
coming up quick.
Yeah, no, nothing happened. February 17th came and went. And they were all good. And you know what his excuse was?
Tell me.
Time passes differently for God than it does for us. I mean, I guess you say he's up there. That's space.
Bitch.
Right?
He can say whatever he
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that was enough to keep them.
Brutal.
They literally were like, all right, bet. Whatever you say.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
1
It's
month
like
later.
that movie, Interstellar,
Yeah.
where 1 minute on this planet is 7 years on Earth.
Yes.
And then they get back and it was actually like 30 years.
Yeah.
God, that movie made me sob like a baby. Anyways, sorry, not important.
So a month later, 4 days after Quebec City Le Soleil published a story on the group entitled "They are happy and free to leave if they wish."
Are they though? Are they?
10 police officers sent a helicopter down to the Eternal Mountain, and they arrested Papy for obstruction of justice, and he was ordered by the court to undergo psychological evaluation at Quebec City's Le Hôpital. I don't know why I put the French version of hospital in here.
Because that you have to.
Le Hôpital Robert Gifford. Gifford? Giffard. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Gifford is
So
good.
Mammy maintained the morale and isolation of the commune during Pappy's absence. And when the families of
Thanks,
other cult
Mammy.
members tried to visit them or tried to talk some sense into everybody, they were treated coldly, and it was made clear that they were not welcome. So the families did try to come in Pappy's absence, and Mommy said, not today. Get the fuck out.
No.
Yeah, Mommy's got Pappy's back. Always remember that. So meanwhile...
That's creepy. I hate it.
Yes. Terrio was integrating himself at the hospital. He claimed that he had saved these kids from self-dissolution of drugs and put them on the right track.
Did you?
He was talking himself up at the hospital.
He really was. And I bet people were like, man, this guy, he really seems to know what he's talking about.
Yep. So the director of the hospital in which he was at began to referring to him as Moses. Literally, fuck you.
Okay. You probably shouldn't indulge.
Yeah.
that
And he
much.
did express his displeasure for the public, and he didn't like that they were assuming that because he had a different lifestyle that he had been sent in for evaluation. They didn't like that. They just because he lives differently, you can't assume he's crazy.
This
Yeah, the
is
fucking
where-
doctor said that.
Okay.
So-
So it's not your job to care about why other people think he's crazy.
Yes.
It's your job
To find out
determine
if he is.
if he actually is.
Yes.
You bitch.
So he was released from the hospital early, and the judge fit him to stand trial for obstruction to justice. He was given 1 year suspended sentence, and the media began to portray him as a gentle mountain man who would run afoul of a prejudiced industrial society.
Nope. He just was cutting people's toes off and making naked people stand in the snow. But go off, I guess.
So, of course, in the eyes of his followers, this was just like, he is God. We fucking knew it. See? We knew it. He's not crazy.
Nope,
He's
he is.
a gentle mountain man.
Nope, he's not.
No, he sure isn't. So yeah, from their point of view, it was if psychiatric experts couldn't find anything wrong with him, why would they?
You know what? Unfortunately,
That's some sound logic. Like,
that
honestly.
makes sense. Unfortunately, and that's why that type of job is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if a trained professional whose literal job is to figure that shit out is like, no, he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're the crazy one. You're
Yeah.
not. To clarify, you're not. But your brain says maybe you are.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Trash. So, in early November of 1980, Guy Veer joined the Commune. Commune? What did I say?
Commune.
The Commune. So, in early November of 1980, Guy Veer joined the Commune. He was the first new member of the group since the Healthy Living Clinic. Wild, I know.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
really,
not a lot of
this
people are
whole
going to
time-
find them in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere.
Also, that is fair.
Yeah. I mean, they
But-
would go into the city from time to time. So, yeah, they didn't only make money with the welfare checks. They also would, like, go into town and sell, like, baked goods and shit. Like, just...
Can you imagine buying baked goods from Rocktario?
yeah. Could you imagine eating at a restaurant
Shit and moss.
and doing research for our spooky cult podcast at a restaurant that's a cult?
You know what?
For context, for those of you who don't know, there's a very well-known cult here in BC called the Yellow Deli, and they have a literal, like, restaurant.
That's not what the cult's called.
Well, the cult is via the Yellow Deli.
Here,
and
let
Sage
me
goes there to
I
do
do.
research for
It's
our
really
podcast
good.
about
It's the, what's it called?
serial killers
The
and cults.
the seven people's tribe?
Oh my God.
The 12 tribes. That's what it's called. It's called 12 tribes. I didn't even
You
need
should
to
do an
ask them.
episode on them.
Yeah, actually people have been asking me to, but they give me anxiety.
Okay, back to Guy. You're good.
Guy.
So, yeah, he was the first new member since the Healthy Living Clinic. And he had actually undergone treatment for depression at the same hospital that Papy was at.
I wonder what the treatment was. Probably just straight heroin.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So after hearing about Terrio on the TV, he decided to head for the hills. He went out there, and Gabrielle, who was their cult nurse, for lack of better words, she was basically like their nurse. Like, she was like, if anything bad happened, she was the cult nurse. So you had to pack.
It's good that there's one of
What the fuck
those.
am I saying? You had to pass an examination, and Guy did, and he was permitted to stay on the commune in the storage shed, away from Terrio and his family.
Okay.
So he got a small wood stove, a case of 24 bottles of homebrewed beer, 2 hens, a rooster,
Shitty beer.
and 1 meal a day.
One meal a
One meal
day.
a day. So his job, in addition to the normal responsibilities of chopping wood and storing food rations and getting ready for winter, like bears,
Like
he would
bears.
babysit the non-Terrio children,
Like the ones that were.
the ones that were not fathered by Papy.
So how many of those were there?
There
'Cause
were
there's
3.
21 that were his. Oh, there's only 3? Okay.
Yeah. But he was not mentally stable,
Great.
so he would look after the animals
Not
and
the
the 3
special
children
kids.
that were
Yeah.
not Pappies.
How else do you hammer into a child's head that we don't give a fuck about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awful.
Love that.
So, on March 23rd, you remember Rock Jr. and
Yes.
Francois?
And Francois.
So they were coming to visit their dad on the commune.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, why the fuck that lady let them? I
Mom.
don't know. So
Pick your
Guy
kids
was
up.
not invited, and he was told to look after the 3 outsider children. So this is where the story, we're not really sure what exactly happened. There's 2 sides. So
Okay.
there's 2 versions of what happened.
I'm
The
ready.
quote-unquote official version that was given to the court
Mhm.
by Papy and Guy, Mr. Veer, and the commune members, says that Samuel was crying that night and keeping Veer awake. Veer lost his temper, started screaming at the child to be quiet, and then picked up the 2-year-old. This is not nice. This is very not nice.
Content warning.
Very big content warning. Picked up the 2-year-old by the throat and plunged his fist into the child's face 5 or 6 times. The next day, Rock discovered what had happened and placed Samuel under the care of Gabrielle, the nurse for the group. Allegedly, baby Samuel's head was flopping around on his neck, and his penis had swelled up.
What?
Rock took a pair of scissors after sterilizing them in alcohol and lanced Samuel's penis to permit urine flow. The next morning, Samuel was found dead, and this was the account that was accepted by the courts. So, according to written in the book called Savage Messiah, it was released about the cult. They had an interview with Giselle. This is what Giselle says happened. So Giselle said, Samuel's face was bruised in the morning on the 24th of March, but there was nothing else wrong with him. However, Rock decided that the child needed to be circumcised. He used 94% alcohol to sterilize a razor, and he also poured some on a rubber bulb.
94%?
I don't know, maybe back in
Also,
the 80s.
fun fact for everybody. That won't sterilize it. You have to use 70%.
Yeah.
Anything higher than 70%
Doesn't sterilize.
because it evaporates too fast.
Yes.
So
99 cleans, 70 sterilizes.
Yeah.
Get it together,
Rough.
people.
RUFF.
So he also poured some onto a rubber bulb, which he squeezed into Samuel's mouth as an anesthetic. She believes that the case
A rubber bulb?
like a little rubber cap,
Rubber cap.
like
a ball gag.
I guess kind of like a soother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what he used as an anesthetic?
Yeah. So Giselle
Nice.
believes that he died by alcohol poisoning, not by.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So after hearing about the baby's death, because this was actually Marcy. This was her son. It was Marcy and her husband. Yeah, it was their son. So she went back to work. Just as normal. So at supper, Terrio suggested that they burn the baby's remains because if they had buried them, they were worried that birds or wildlife might dig them up.
Birds or wildlife or police.
Yeah.
You
Literally.
know, any of those.
So Marcy and Jacques agreed, and Claude did the honors, and life of the commune just went back to normal. So 6 months went by, everything was all good, and then one night in September, Papy got very drunk and was very angry with Veer for some reason, and decided that he should stand trial for his crime with baby Samuel.
I mean, not, I would say the most reasonable thing he said so far.
Yes. So he
Although,
appointed...
maybe at, actual court, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
So we got a DIY court here. So Jacques was
DIY court.
appointed the judge, and Jacques was the baby's father. Giselle was the
It's a terrible
prosecution.
idea.
Claude was the lawyer for the defense. Gabrielle would be the coroner. And Rock and his other 6 wives would act as a jury.
This is like a role play dinner
Yeah,
party.
Literally. I'm pretty sure I've done this in theater class.
Right?
So the trial lasted an hour, and the verdict was unanimous, not guilty by reason of insanity. Papy was not satisfied with that decision.
I mean, that is actually a reasonable decision to come
Yeah.
to, I guess.
Also, if we're believing, it's hard to know who we're believing, but if
Yeah.
we're believing what Mommy said, it was not Veer at all.
Yeah, it was
It was 100%
Rock.
Papy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was not satisfied with that decision, and a couple of hours later, he took Jacques aside and suggested that they castrate Veer, as one does. Jacques did not like the idea, but Terrio called another vote anyway, and a jury of 10, including the son, Rock Jr., voted against the new motion. So Jacques, Marcy, and Giselle were the only 3 who voted against it. Everybody else voted for it. So Veer had stayed quiet the whole evening. He obviously didn't fucking want to get castrated.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
But Terrio talked him into it. He claimed it would cure his... This part's going to be hard for me to say. They claimed it would cure his headaches as well as his excessive masturbation that was causing respiratory difficulties. I'm sorry if you're an excessive masturbator. That might be why you have respiratory issues.
Sorry, how much do you have to masturbate to have respiratory issues?
Also, isn't it a workout? Wouldn't it like do the opposite?
Well, also, how much of your body are you putting into masturbation? All it takes is a little wrist
if you're
work.
Excessive.
Yeah, that sounds excessive.
Yeah, but maybe if you're an excessive masturbator, you're picking up
throwing
some
your
new
whole body into it.
Yeah.
Rocking back and forth.
Tricks and tips and
Yeah, maybe
fucking
he has like
new
yo-yo
positions
tricks but
between
with
the
his penis.
legs, front side, back side. Okay, he's getting castrated, so this is not very nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
So
Castrate me, baby.
yes, Terrio explained that in the hierarchy of the group, Veer was a slave, and if he underwent castration, he would become a eunuch, which is a step up. So
Is it? I've seen Game of Thrones, and I think that eunuchs are not in good
I
standing.
don't think Veer knows that though.
Okay,
so
Veer, you should have
he-
watched Game of Thrones.
He asked Veer to write a letter of consent, and he told him, if you don't want to sign it, I'm gonna fucking make you sign it anyway. So he
If
signed
you don't
it.
want to sign it, I'm going to do it and forge your signature.
Yeah, if you don't want to sign it, fuck you. I'm holding your hand and doing it with you.
Yeah. We'll do it together.
Yes. So Terrio had Veer lie on the kitchen table, and Gabrielle fetched the medical instruments, being an elastic band, a razor blade, a magnifying glass, a pair of tweezers, and alcohol. Veer's
sounds like a
scrotum
horror movie.
bled for a week.
I wonder, how do you... So when one goes about castration,
Mm-hmm.
are you literally, like, chopping the penis off? Are you removing the balls?
The balls.
Okay.
He never
Also-
complained of another headache, so
Yeah, because, like we were talking about earlier, all of the attention was on the pain in his dick.
yeah, literally. So of course, Papy, being the crazy son of a bitch he is, he felt that Veer was now a security risk. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's, like, wrong.
He's not a security risk.
Considering that you removed his balls.
Yeah.
And
And he quite literally has like the most solid proof.
Yeah.
The lack of balls.
Yeah, he doesn't have balls anymore.
Yeah.
It's just an empty sag.
Yes.
An empty sagging sack.
So
Ugh.
he felt that he was a security risk. So he enjoyed tormenting him, beating him, and playing games in which he would instruct his followers to pierce him through the chest with knives.
What?
Yeah. And tell them to make him bleed to death just to call him off the way God called off Abraham from sacrificing Isaac at the very last minute. Ba-ba-la.
All right.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So on November 5th, Veer fucking dipped. He got the fuck out of there. He escaped.
Good
He said
for
no
you,
more.
Veer.
Good job.
I mean, a couple months too late. You don't have balls anymore, but
Yeah.
you
know
did
what?
it.
You got out. So he made it to the village of St. Yogs,
Yogs.
where he told the villagers that a baby had died after being kicked by a horse. So the police raided the compound, arrested Terrio and Samuel's parents, and relocated 7 children into foster homes. They found the child's remains on the commune, and the members told the story of Veer's beating the child. They also found Veer's letter of consent to the castration operation, and
And
even
they
the
said
ballots
that's not
that had been
legally
used to
binding.
vote. Yeah.
God, can you imagine finding all that? Not only finding someone saying, yeah, you can cut my balls off, but then literally papers that voted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
How, like,
What the fuck? What the fuck would you even think going into
yeah,
that?
like, I would be like,
sacrilege.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm passing. I'm going to let you get anyone else handle that, please.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
So nobody questioned by the police was upset or embarrassed about what had happened, or that they had a 12-year-old boy involved in the fucking ballots and the decision making there. Nobody really cared. After the coroner determined that the group was criminally responsible for the death of Samuel, the police made the following charges. Roch, Jacques, Marcy, Gabrielle, and Veer were all charged with criminal negligence causing bodily harm to Samuel. Claude, who burned the body, was charged with obstruction of justice. Jacques and Marcy were charged with neglect towards their oldest daughter, now 5, and Claude and Solange were similarly charged for their treatment of their son, Simon, who is now 3 years old.
And Rock's like, I got so many kids. I didn't even know that those two were here.
Mm-hmm. So Thériault and Laval were charged with the bodily harm and intent to mutilate Mr. Veer, and all of the accused pleaded not guilty. Jacques, Marcy, Claude, Solange, and Mr. Veer. They were all released on the condition that they would not return to the cabin. Thériault and Laval were denied bail as they were held to be a danger to society.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. At the end of the 9-month trial, during which the commune members moved to the town of New Carlisle, not to be confused with Twilight.
Old Carlisle.
Nope. New
with
Carlisle.
Hot Dr. Carlisle.
No. Not
None
him.
of those.
This is where the trial was held, so that's where they all moved there. All parties were found guilty of all charges. Marcy and Solange got 3 years probation. Jacques and Claude received 6 months in prison and 3 years probation for child abandonment. Mr. Veer was sentenced but later acquitted for mental incompetence and returned to the hospital where he was originally treated. Gabrielle was sentenced to 9 months in jail and 3 years probation. Roch was sentenced to 2 years, less than a day in prison, and 3 years probation on each of 2 charges to be served concurrently. He was transferred to the Orsainville Detention Center in Quebec City. So the members of the group distributed themselves between 4 apartments in Quebec City to be near their leader. The police raided the cabin.
Okay.
Raised the cabin.
Raised it.
They bulldozed the ashes. Thériault began to assemble notes for a book. The whole thing seemed to be over, but it was only getting started.
Okay, that came way later than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think this is a 2-parter.
Yeah, I'm only on page 13 also.
What?
Yeah.
I think that next episode is going to be a strong Tums only.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a weak Tum, maybe pass.
Yeah.
I have a squeamish Tum, so this is going to be an interesting one for me. Yeah.
Rotten.
Well, I think that it's time for a happy.
Yeah.
We need a really good one after all of that.
I know, this is fucking long. I mean, we did chat for like quite a bit, so
yeah, but
hopefully it won't be that long.
It'll be kind of long, but that's okay. You guys don't mind, do you? No, I didn't think so. What is my happy is that somebody called Urinal Sushi just started following me on Instagram.
Oh, they've been following they follow the podcast.
Oh, it's this girl. She's actually super cute. Shout out to Urinal Sushi. No. My happy is that I got the newest Tomb Raider game for free on PlayStation Plus.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the 3rd one in the new Tomb Raider reboot series. And so I got the 2nd one. I played the 1st one. I used to own it. Or maybe I currently own it on Xbox. And then I got the 2nd one for PlayStation 4 for Christmas because my family just got a PlayStation 4. And then the 3rd one was on PlayStation Plus for free. So now I have all 3 of them.
Nice. No, I actually don't have a happy. I have a sad. I'm going to give you a sad. My best friend
okay.
is moving across the world in a week, and I'm really upset.
Oh my god, is it only a week?
She's leaving on the 7th.
Jade, how long is she
Yeah.
gonna be gone for?
Definitely.
Jade! Where
Yeah.
is she moving to? India?
Korea, South Korea.
Right. That's even
I'm
cooler.
very excited for her, and I'm very happy for her, but I'm very sad.
Yeah, no.
For those
that's
of you who
really
don't know,
sad.
Jade and I have literally been friends since the 4th grade.
Yeah.
And we're 24,
We used to
so
live on the other side of each other's walls.
yeah, we also used to be neighbors. She moved into my old house. We still live very close to each other, but like
That is
like we
really
used to like be
sad.
able to like knock on the walls at each other. Like our
Yeah.
houses are connected. And
what
when
a
I would shower
time.
and listen to my music, she'd like text me. She'd be
Cute.
like, "Turn it up." And we're like, "I
Oh,
bet."
that's so cute. That is really sad.
Yeah, I'm very.
And what
upset.
a time to
I know.
have this happen, because you can't even cram Jade time. Wait, no, she's in your bubble, isn't she?
She is in my bubble.
Oh, good. Okay, you can cram Jade time.
Yeah.
Jade, just know I'll be sharing your pictures in South Korea on my Facebook page when I'm drunk, okay? I'll be thinking about you. Oh, Jade messaged me,
Oh yeah.
actually, and I never opened it.
You bitch.
I
Oh
am
my
a bitch.
God.
I am, Jade, I am sorry. I'm awful.
She's the worst at
Awful.
texting, Jade. Don't fucking take it personally.
Like, actually.
Like, genuinely, if you think you're bad at texting, you haven't met Sage. I think my favorite thing, and this is not, I'm putting you on blast here, but this is not, I'm not being
Roast me.
serious. So, yes, are you ready? It's time to roast Sage. So my favorite thing about Sage, there are many, but this has to be my number one, is she will not respond to a text for 3 business days. And if you don't respond to a text within 12 hours, she thinks you're mad at her. Can you tell she's a Cancer, folks? Can you tell? What gave it away?
I've never felt more seen.
Literally the worst.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
That
It's all a part of your charm.
is so funny. Yeah, right? That's just, I think that's just something that people, well, that's just Sage. I think that's my thing, is
Yeah.
that I just will not, yeah. But anyways, Jade, oh, okay. If you don't remember my happy from the other day, the other episode, it was Bridgerton.
Oh, fuck. Jade
Jade.
loves that show.
Because it's so good, Jade. Thank you.
Sorry. I do have a proper happy. Netflix is coming out with a documentary about the Alyssa Lamb Cecil Hotel fucking shit that went down that's like super mysterious and nobody really knows what happened.
Is it gonna be? Wait, there's already an episode on Netflix? Oh, it's a whole documentary though. You said.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like a docu-series. Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Season 1 is coming February 10th. The notorious Cecil Hotel grows in infamy when guest Alyssa Lamb vanishes. The creator of the Ted Bundy tapes dives into the crime's darkest places. I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I will definitely be watching that.
Yes.
Definitely be having popcorn. For
Nice.
sure, for that.
Yeah, I'm super fucking pumped. That case is like that one case that like bugs me.
This has been a long ass
It
episode.
sure has. And we're not even done.
No, we have a whole new.
I will be
whole new
taking
episode.
over Sage's episode next week.
Yes.
She's still going to do one, but you know how we usually pass back and forth? I don't think that you guys want to wait another 2 weeks for the next episode. I feel like that's kind of unfair. So
Yeah,
I will
and
do next week's
confusing.
episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that. Yeah. With that, where can they find us, Dani?
You can find us on Instagram at silenceofthehags. That's where you can contact us. Oh, also, sorry, I just want to say thank you to one of our followers who has been really active and vocal lately and giving us tips and updating us when she's listening to episodes, and it really warms my heart. Her @ is Griffey22. She's private, so don't bug her.
Yes,
But-
leave her alone. But,
But just
thank you.
Thank you, Griffey. You're so
Yeah.
sweet, and we really appreciate all of your messages. It really warms our heart.
Totally. Anyways,
back to
off
where you
topic.
can find us.
Yeah.
You guys can also email us at silenceofthehags at gmail.com. If you don't have Instagram and you want to reach out to us, it's easier to reach out to us on Instagram. But we also accept emails.
We do.
We'll take them.
We like emails.
We do.
Get
We do.
very few of them.
They're funny. Emails are fun. Nobody
Yeah.
ever sends personal emails are fun, I should say. Yeah, you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and then a bunch of other.
Yeah,
I'm not
those
just-
are the
I'm not
main
gonna
ones.
keep listening. But
Yeah, you've heard this is episode 34.
yeah.
So, yeah. So I think we're gonna sign out with that, guys. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening, and bye-bye.
Bye.